Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Roger Susanin.
I'm Cailtin Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. We're going to have much more on that breaking news situation, that fire in Marlborough, in just a minute. But first, we'll get you ready for your day here and say hello to meteorologist Jill Gilardi for a check on that first alert forecast. Nice to not have a first alert to talk about today.
Not today, yeah, but we of course have one.
Another
coming up, we know,
yeah.
Wednesday, right?
Now, did you like the temperatures yesterday? I mean, did you get outside at all?
And I love them today so far.
Today is going to be maybe a couple degrees warmer, so bonus for us before the cold, the wind all come back for a few days. One day in particular is going to be a little bit worse, but we'll get to that first alert weather day in a little bit. Let's talk about the good stuff happening outside right now. You know, the sun's coming up. We have 36 degrees. That's mild in New Haven. Winds are light right now. Another view of that lovely glow of the sun making its way upwards. Waterbury, it's 27, and it's not a bad start compared to where we should be. We are above normal to start off the morning hours. There are a few spots in the low 20s, upper 20s, 30s. You know, it's kind of all over the place. But that wind flow is coming up out of the south and southwest today. So as you may know, that's a warmer direction. The winds are very light. They may pick up later on today. But look at these temperatures. How about that? We're going to see those readings getting into the 40s this afternoon, most places. 38 in Goshen, 40 in Washington, about 45 Suffield, 45 Glastonbury, 41 in Storrs. And just a quick look at our southern tier of counties and just how mild it's going to get. So everyone gets to enjoy pretty much 40s. Not too shabby out there. All right, we'll talk more about the change ahead a little bit later, but for now, let's get an update on traffic with Cailin. Good morning.
All right, good morning. A first alert, this just popped up literally just a minute ago here in Tolland, 84 eastbound. 84 eastbound seems to be a problem this morning between exits 67 and 68. Again, that's in Tolland, 84 eastbound between exits 67 and 68. DOT is reporting it's involving a tractor trailer, so please expect some lane closures if you're traveling through the area. Let's take you out. We are dealing with another first alert. This is also on 84 eastbound through Hartford. Right around exit 51, you can see that tow truck just arrived here on the scene. We're seeing about 2 miles worth of delays through the Hartford area this morning. Again, all on the eastbound side. This just popped up as well. 84 eastbound, right around exit 45, and the left lane there is blocked off. So again, about 2 miles worth of backups as you're traveling in towards the capital city region here this morning on the eastbound side. We've got 2 separate incidents, both in Hartford and then one that we're following for you in Tolland. Another full update coming up for you in just about 15-20 minutes. I'm Cailtin Francis with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Let's get right back to that breaking news that we're following in Marlborough for you this morning. That's where crews are battling a house fire on Jones Hollow Road.
Yeah, we watch it develop live here on Channel 3 and now on the Wax. Your reporter Olivia Schuler joins us at the scene right now. So, Olivia, what are you seeing there?
Cailin and Roger, it's a massive scene here. About a dozen fire trucks and their crews working on this house fire. Take a look at it. You can see that the fire at this point is completely out, but the smoke is still billowing off of the roof. You can also see that there's some gaps in the roofing itself, which shows where those flames were pouring out of just probably under a few hours ago. You can see more than a dozen firefighters on scene right now working in this area, making sure that that fire is completely out. Once again, there are about a dozen fire trucks here, many of them from Marlborough, Glastonbury helping out as well, and it looks like there are a few other agencies here down the road as well. This is Jones Hollow Road in Marlborough. Now, I do want to point out it is still very cold outside here, even though it's not as cold as temperatures we have seen recently. There is still that risk that there is some freezing turnover from the hoses that firefighters are using. So what we do see in this is that salt trucks come through and they put a lot of salt down on the road so that any of the water from the hoses that freezes over, it's a little bit more safe for crews as they are responding to have that salt down. Helps with the traction. That way they do not slip and fall because these temperatures can be extremely hazardous for firefighters. A very developing scene here. We're working to find out if anyone is injured, if this house was abandoned. All those questions we're working to get answered, but as you can see behind us, the crews here are very busy. We'll have an update for you in less than 30. Your reporter in Marlborough, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Olivia, thank you. Some new details this morning coming into our newsroom. One person we know is dead after a crash in Farmington.
Yeah, that wreck happened on I-84 last night. Police tell us Multiple cars collided in this chain reaction crash, and sadly, as Kate just mentioned, one person did die.
And now this morning, we're trying to figure out if anyone else was hurt in this crash and how many cars were involved.
Our coverage continues this morning of those devastating, deadly wildfires in and around Los Angeles.
We've now learned that at least 24 people are dead and dozens are still missing. Your reporter, Charlie DeMar, is in LA with what firefighters are facing today.
Firefighters in Southern California are in a race against time to contain the deadly wildfires. The National Weather Service warns that dangerous high winds are expected to return in the coming hours.
These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in all of Los Angeles County very high.
As of Sunday, officials said the Palisades fire, the largest, was still less than 20% contained. Residents of the luxury community returned home over the weekend to find their homes reduced to rubble.
It's devastating and numbing, but everybody I've spoken to who's lost their homes, they all want to rebuild.
And not every resident has been able to get back into their home due to National Guard checkpoints that have been set up for safety concerns. This as California's governor has ordered another 1,000 National Guard troops on the ground.
The tragedy has triggered a massive outpouring of donations. Piles of bottled water, clothing, and other necessities took over the parking lot at the Santa Anita racetrack near the Eaton fire.
We're like, let's go help. We have to.
Danny Lee and his 6-year-old son Oliver were among the many volunteers.
Kids and grown-ups are homeless. They don't have anywhere to live.
Officials say hundreds have fled the area to shelters, with tens of thousands of people in LA County still under evacuation orders. Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
So this probably will not come as any surprise, but the Palisades and Eaton fires are the most destructive fires to ever hit Los Angeles.
And officials say the two fires have destroyed nearly 10,000 homes already in less than a week.
Palisades is the third most destructive fire in California history, and the Eaton is the fourth.
Students in LA are returning to school today as the wildfires rage on in that city.
Campuses, as you can expect, have been closed the last several days. The Los Angeles Unified School District says they are confident it is safe for students and employees to finally return to campus. 7
schools are still closed as evacuation orders remain in place. Well, more organizations here in Connecticut are stepping up to help the fire relief efforts there in California.
Local chapters of AmeriCares, the American Red Cross, and Save the Children are all pushing for donations and sending direct help this morning.
So if you'd like to help, we have much more about the resources available on our website. And this morning, a person is dead after police say they were hit by a car in Rocky Hill. Take a look here at what our cameras captured at about 6 o'clock last night. Investigators tell us that they brought the victim to the hospital where they died, and we're still working to learn who they were. Right now, we're told the driver is cooperating with police. To Cailtin now, where a 14-year-old girl was killed in a horrific crash on Route 8.
Police have now identified the victim as Chloe Ramsabhag from Waterbury. Investigators say 38-year-old Carlos Biamonte hit the car the victim was traveling in, which then led to another crash.
Now, police say the suspect just took off. Officers were able to track him down, though, and the investigation continues this morning.
And right now, we are working to learn more after a car fire in Cheshire. Take a look at your screen. This is a wild situation. It all happened on 691 East near Exit 7. You can see massive flames burning there. Now, fortunately, everybody got out safely. No one was seriously injured, but at this point, it's still unclear how that fire started. Of course, as soon as we get new information, we'll update you right away.
Well, right now, a suspect still on the run after a deadly stabbing in Norwich. Police say a man walked into a hospital with a stab wound late on Friday night and then later died. Police say the stabbing happened on Baltic Road, and they think it was a targeted attack.
This morning, we are working to learn more about a big fire in Waterbury. Those flames sparked on Alpine Avenue, right near Longmeadow Drive. That's where fire crews say they believe a propane tank exploded and started this fire. At this point, there is no word on whether anybody was injured.
Well, have you been getting text messages claiming that you owe money for Easy Pass tolls? Officials in neighboring Massachusetts are warning people about this, and they say you're likely getting scammed.
Yeah, so to break this all down for us, this new trend known as smishing, your reporter, Marcy Jones, joins us now live in the studio with more. So, Marcy, if somebody actually gets a text like this, as a bunch of people on our newsroom did, what should they do?
Great question, and that's the biggest question on everybody's mind, right? Well, the answer from Mass DOT is relatively simple. The department says they will never request payment via text message. Here's how it works. The scammers target drivers using smithing, where they send a text or email saying that they're part of the tolling agency. They claim that a driver has an unpaid balance and that they should settle their bill using a link before late fees occur. Experts say the scam targets people with phone numbers near tolling authorities. The scammers don't have any specific information about their targets, but do hope to get some personal and financial information through the link. Mass DOT emphasized that they will never send a bill or information through any text messages. So here's what you do if you think you've received a scam message. Don't click on any links, don't respond to the message, and don't give out any personal information. If you're concerned about a message, you can validate that by going directly toward the toll website or calling the toll authority. That number's on your screen. And if you've already clicked on a link, take precautions to secure your information and dispute any unknown charges through your bank. You can also file a complaint with the FBI through the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Your reporter in studio, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Happening today, an independent law firm is expected to hand over a report to the East Lyme Police Commission about its investigation into the chief there, Michael Finkelstein.
So the police commission will then have a meeting tonight to discuss how much, if any, of that report should be made public.
And this comes after he was arrested over the summer for alleged domestic violence when an argument erupted in his home and it turned physical.
State leaders are fighting back against private equity firms owning hospitals after Prospect Medical Holdings filed for bankruptcy. The company owns Rockville General, Waterbury, and Manchester Memorial Hospitals. Now, despite the announcement, Governor Lamont says the hospitals will stay open. Lawmakers say Yale could buy those hospitals, but that right now that potential sale is stuck in court. Governor Lamont will meet with Attorney General Tong today at 2:30 to discuss what happens next.
Well, more help is on the way for small businesses impacted by that historic flooding we saw back in August. And this morning at 10:30, state leaders are talking about how you can apply for more financial relief.
So money could come your way, whether your business suffered physically or economically this past summer. The deadline to apply for relief from physical damage is Sunday the 19th, and then the deadline for economic damage is the next day, Monday the 20th. We do have more information on how you can apply on our website. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning. Well, it's definitely getting brighter out there. It's 7:13, and we're tracking temperatures not bad at all for this time of year. Generally above average. Windsor Locks right now, it's 29 degrees. Pretty hue in the sky. We're waiting for that sun to come up in Old Saybrook, but it's certainly getting brighter as mentioned. 22 Willimantic versus, say, 36 in New Haven. The wind flow, it's in our favor today, coming up from the southwest. It's very light, so not creating much of a chill this morning. But look at the numbers for this afternoon. How about 40s? So we're talking about not only 5 degrees above average, but some spots 10 degrees above average. So a lovely day, maybe falling just short in a few spots of the 40-degree mark across Litchfield County, but everyone else enjoy the weather. We have change on the way, though. We'll have some afternoon little showers, even a rain or snow shower. Then the cold, then the wind sets in. The worst of it is Wednesday, which is a first alert weather day. So we'll break this on down in detail for you coming up here very shortly.